Hello folks, Junkie Rock 13 here. Everything vaping related, it's Junkie Rock 13. My real name is Ross Sanders. And I'd like to welcome everybody back from their Thanksgiving little holiday. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, got to spend some time with the family, feed their face, eat some turkey, have some good pumpkin pie. And everybody's home safely and getting ready for work, back to work today. I'm doing a quick little look at the AGA-T. I purchased this device through a co-op, and I really do like the AGA-T. It is a very nice beginner Genesis device. If you're looking to get into the Genesis line, the AGA-T is a good beginner device, so you don't have to spend $150 or $300 on a hybrid device. You can get started with the AGA-T to see if you like it, and if you like it and you want to progress to a more expensive unit, this is a good stepping stone. So let's take a look at it, and at the end of this video I do have another giveaway, and I will talk about that then. Let's take a look and see what I got. Okay, so here is the AGA-T all broken down. Alright, well, we're going to start off with the top cap. Let me show you exactly what it looks like when it comes to you. This is how it looks. Okay, this is a brand new device right here I haven't even used. You notice right there the air hole is very small. Now, like on my other Genesis devices, I don't like the small air hole, and what I have done with this one is bored it out to 1/16 of an inch. Okay, hope you can see that. It gives a better production of vapor, more flavor in my opinion, and I'm used to the more airier draw. So here it is. Now this is a stainless steel top, has some 3 ridges in it right there, nicely threaded inside. Now you might see some condensation, some water in there. I just rinsed this out, but this is solid stainless steel, which is very impressive coming from China. Usually shiny metal, any shiny metal to them is stainless steel, but this is real stainless steel. It's not chrome plated brass. There's the top cap, very nice 510 drip tip connection. Put that off to the side here. Talk about the tank a little bit. I believe it is a polycarbonate. I have asked the questions of the supplier and they just said a plastic tank, but I believe it's like a polycarbonate. It's a thick wall there, so I haven't had no problems with it cracking or anything. But it's got all moisture in there. I'm sorry for that. My hands are a little wet too. But there's your tank. It's a nice clear tank. The bottom, like I said, it's got these nice knurled grooves, threads, if you want to call it that. Inside there's a orange O-ring go around the base, where the O-ring will come in contact with the tank and hold it from any leaking. And there's the bottom connector, the 510 connection down here. All solid, one piece, I believe. Yep. Paper towel fuzz. Okay, very nice, well machined. And here's the top cap, or the top portion of the Genesis atomizer. I should call it a hybrid because it is a Genesis slash silica wick, but like any Genesis device, you can use silica wick in there, but this has a little negative post right here where you can take your Kanthal and put it into that little hole in there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. And tighten it down with this little set screw right there. Come on. There you go. Little set screw right there. But here's your wick hole. A nice size wick hole. It's not insulated. And you have Phillips screwdriver negative post. Well, let me grab my Phillips head and not the straight. Okay. And the way I've been using it is a stainless steel wick in here. This as your negative connector. And this being your fill hole. So I'm going to take that screw out and leave it out. When I use a Genesis device, I always leave the screw out of the fill hole where it can get more air movement and it won't cause a vacuum in there, so you're not going to get any wicking of the juice. So there's those two pieces. Here's your positive post. Okay. I'll go right through the device, and it is threading it and threaded on that end. Here's your positive center post that'll go run through the tank. Has two little O-rings on it with threaded ends. Okay. And then we have the infamous little silicone insulators. Now, this being the only negative that I see right now with the Genesis style atomizers coming out of China is that they're using silicone insulators and not a Delrin. These have been having to be replaced on a couple of my devices, that being the did clone, and actually only the did clone I had to replace a couple of them. What tends to happen is they tend to rip and they're hard to replace, but I did find somebody that sells them in a co-op and I picked up a few of them, so I do have a couple extra just in case. And then we have some little nuts. There's two bigger nuts and one smaller one to set the positive post into the tank. So let's put this bad boy together, and I'll show you how simple it is to take it apart and clean it out. And alright, so this is going to be fully disassembled when you clean it, rinse it out, take it apart, rinse it out, clean it. Now what you want to do is take your positive post, take one of these insulators with the big end down, slide it all the way down positive post, take it and slide it in the bottom of this piece, maybe. Okay, well, let's try this. I actually put it in the bottom part first, and maybe that is the issue. Okay, come on. You're not going to fight with me. Maybe they're different sizes. I didn't think they were. Wow. Never had this much problems getting these little silicone pieces in there. Alright, let me take a little screwdriver and poke it in there. Okay, there we go. Wow, that was a mission. Wow. Okay, well, you're going to have to push it in there with a little screwdriver or something. It just wasn't going in correctly. Paper towel does. Then you'll slide your positive post right through the center of there. And so now the positive post is insulated from your negative threads, which will act as your negative current, the threading. Okay, so now we're going to take this positive center post right here and just slide it down onto there and tighten it all the way down. Tighten it down really nice so there's no leakage. The O-ring in there will make sure of that. And what we're going to do is take the tank, put it onto the device, and then take the positive section. But before that, we're going to do this just like I did on the bottom and put this insulator, and I'm going to use that screwdriver again to just poke that one side in. There we go. And there it is. Okay. So now you're just going to hold the silicone end in there and just take the positive post and just send it up through the center. Then we're just going to tighten it down onto that center post right there with the threading there. Nice and tight. Okay, make sure the positive post is pushed up through there. Then we're going to take this little tiny nut, make sure you don't lose these because they are a pain in the ass when you drop them on the ground, believe me. Okay, so I'm going to tighten that right down. And I'm just going to tighten it down with my fingers because I did tighten it down with a little needle nose pliers. Then what tended to happen is the silicone insulator down at the bottom tend to mushroom out and cause the positive connection, the positive post not to make a good connection. So just tighten it down as good as you can. Okay. Then you could take one of the other ones, okay, put it on, and the other one, and put it on like that. Okay, now I like to keep them up towards the top and just leave a nice little slit like that open so you can put the wire through there. So now I already have a wick pre-made, and if you are learning how to make a wick or oxidize a wick, roll a wick for your first time, please check out my video. That will be posted on the bottom, and it will be posted right over here somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to keep this right here, and I'm going to show you a method that I have been doing for the past month. And it's been working pretty well. Let's see if this is the correct one. No. Is that the one? Or no? I forgot. Okay, it is. Okay. Now what I have here is a 7/64. I believe it's a 7/64. Yep. I have a 7/64 drill bit. Okay, now it fits right in there. It's not extremely tight, but what I'm going to do is I am going to wrap my wire around the drill bit. Now because when I put it in this end there is still some of the cutting area of the drill bit showing, I am going to use this side, but I'm not gonna put it in all the way down to the bottom, because then it's gonna be the same. So what I'm gonna do is loosen up the negative screw, and for this video or for this device I am using a 32 gauge Canthal wire, but it is twisted. There's two 32 gauge wires twisted together. I've used this a few other times, and I like using this every once in a while. It actually has like a piano string or a guitar string feel to it. I will show you in a later video how I twist these two together. There's a few videos out there on how to do it. Put a little bend in it and put it underneath my negative screw. And what I'm going to do, now watch carefully, everybody that's having issues with doing these wraps. What I like to do is the part that I'm going to be wrapping around the wick, I like to run right up the middle of that hole, right across the middle of that hole. Okay, now I'm going to take my Phillips head and tighten it down really good. Okay, I'm going to reposition that a little bit. Okay, what I really want, what I'm really looking for is where the wire, where the wire comes off the screw. I want it to come off in the middle of this hole right here. That's what I really want. So right there is about the middle. And we're just going to tighten it down and make sure it's tightened down really well. Okay. Now what I'm going to do with the drill bit is I'm going to place it in here. I thought I had one that fit this really well. Let me see if this one fits. I'm sorry, folks. No. I guess this is the one. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to position it like that. Okay. Now let me just pull up the seat so I can show you this perfectly. What I want to do is when I wrap this wire around this drill bit, I want to wrap it as tight as possibly I can. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it once. Now this is a pretty heavy wire. Until I get a wrap around it, it's going to slide around. Okay, so there's one wrap around. Okay, there's two. There's three. My device, I just hit it with my elbow. There's four. And with these twisted wires, I like to wrap 5 times. So when I wrap my final wrap around, I'm going to make sure them screws are more to the top of that positive post there. And then I'm going to do it counterclockwise around the positive post. Okay, now I'm going to tighten this down. Okay, and let me just show you how that looks. So now that I have this all wrapped, before I even do anything with the wick, I'm going to straighten these out so they're nice and even. Evenly spaced. As good as possible. I mean, it doesn't have to be super perfect, but it's nice to get them as close as possible. Now I'm just going to take out the drill bit. And what that's going to give me is a perfectly wrapped wire from the negative to the positive post. So I'm just going to take off this piece off the negative, and I'm going to take this off the positive just by giving it a little twist. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take my wife's purple Provari and make sure this is set down low. Give me 1 second, folks. I thought I had it set perfect. I'm going to set it at 3.5. Okay, 3.5. I'm going to put this on the device. And I'm just going to fire it just 1 second, 1 quick second. Now, if you're using devices like the Vmax or the Zmax, you want to lower your voltage all the way down, as low as you possibly can before you do this, because you will pop the coil. Okay, let me just give it a quick little fire. And if you notice, without a wick in there, it's glowing nice and even. I know it's hard to see. Let me see. I was sitting outside, I can't see it perfectly. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, the secret behind this method is when you put the wick in there, you do not want it to be too loose. You want it to be perfectly snug up against that wire. So I'm going to take this wick that I have pre-made already. It actually came out of this device. I just wanted to show you how I wrap it. And start to put it in. You're going to actually have to like twist it in there. And if it is too easy to go in there, then it is too loose. So what you want to do is take it back out. Now the bottom was a little tight, and that's how I want the top, where it's coming in connection with that, with the wire. So instead of tightening the wick, I'm going to loosen it up. So I'm going to like roll it the opposite way. Okay, and that should give me the correct size. Okay. Alright folks, I think it's going in there good now. Alright, it's not touching the bottom of the tank. They look nice and even. Let me give it a little fire. Okay, let me test the ohms on this. The ohms are 1.5, just where I like it. And I'm going to raise up the voltage to 3.8. Okay, and then give it a little fire now. Okay, they look like they're glowing nice and even. Okay, now if there's one that's glowing a little bit hotter, or what I like to do when I get it nice and hot and red, I like moving it while it's red hot, because they tend to move easier when they're red hot and they stay there. When you do it when they're cool, they seem to spring right back. Okay, so I hope you're seeing that. That is glowing nice and red, nice and even. Okay, so we're set to put some juice in this baby. Alright, so there is the raw razzmatazz. It is a 50-50 blend, 18 milligrams. Okay, I'm going to set that right there. Give my juice a little shake. And fill up the syringe real quick. But that method right there with the drill bit seems to be very easy, and I've been showing a few people, a few new users to the Genesis devices, that method, and it has been working very well for them. Okay. Now if it's your first time using a Genesis device, I recommend not filling your tank up all the way leave some air in it, and I'll show you why. Okay, well, I'm just going to fill this up. And I'm going to fill it, I just want to cover that. I'm going to fill it about 3/4, 75% of the way, okay? And like I said, I'm leaving the fill hole screw out. And I'm just going to put a nice little drop onto the wick right there. Give it a quick little fire. See the vapor? Okay. No hot spots. That seems to be working well. Now, the one thing I forgot to add about this top is these tops don't always come lined up with the wick hole. And if your air hole is not lined up directly with the wick, what you can do is take a piece of sandpaper, hold it flat on a table, and sand it. You can spin it like this, or you can sand it like this. Just make sure it's nice and even. I've heard people, oh, I did it and it didn't come out even. It's not going to come out even if you're sanding it like this. If you hold it flat on a piece of sandpaper and you sand like this, you are going to be able to get a nice even cap. This is sanded, and you notice the wick is right there, and there it is, perfectly lined up. Hope you can see that. The air hole is lined up with the wick. I'm just going to throw on my wife's purple aluminum anodized tip and show you how this bad boy vapes. Okay, so there you have it. There is the AGA-T. Let me get right to it. The AGA-T is a great Genesis device for somebody that wants to get into the Genesis line. If they want to try it with an inexpensive quality device, the AGA-T, in my opinion, is a great little device. It is solid stainless steel, it has good build quality. The tank is a polycarbonate tank. Now, if you can find a glass replacement tube, maybe from Bedazzle or IB Tanked, I'm sure you can call them up and get a tank that made out of fused quartz over at Bedazzle. And Bedazzle tanks are pretty nice. I really do like Bedazzle tanks. You can get one with designs on them. So when you get this, just get the measurements of the tube and contact Kathy over at Bedazzle and see if you can get a replacement for these. That being said, the weakest link of this device is the silicone insulators in there. Them silicone insulators can and will rip eventually. But I know I did pick up a few from a co-op, and I'm sure that vendors will be selling them for like 30 cents a piece or whatever. But if they put Delrin or something like a harder plastic in there, or a material like a Delrin or something else that won't melt from the heat, this will be a quality device and stand up with the best of them. Let me show you how it vapes. And this is with the 1.5 ohm wrap at 3.8 volts. Let me show you how this vapes. Now I do have the fans going in here. It's really hot. My wife always has it really hot in the house when it comes winter time, and I sweat, but she loves the heat. I don't know. Okay, here we go. That fan's off. That one's blowing over there. Alright, here we go. You can see the vapor production is great. Of course, that is going to be depending on your wrap and on your juice, whether it's a PG base or a VG base. But with the bored out 1/16 hole, for me, that is what I like. I'm not even sure exactly of this size that the air hole that comes in this tank, but I just don't like the small air hole. It's way too tight for me. I don't know, but give it a try. If you like the tighter draw, leave it at that. You just will get less vapor, in my opinion, less flavor. But if you want to, you can bore it out to 1/16. The nice thing about devices that send them with the smaller air holes, it does give you the option to bore them out. The problem is if you bore them out too big, you can't reverse that. So be careful. Make sure you don't bore out the hole too much, and make sure you want to bore it out. That's how I like to do it. But like I said about the wick lining up with the air hole, if it doesn't line up, you can sand on the top cap and get it lined up perfectly. That's what I did, and it worked perfect now. Let me take a couple more vapes. You know, this device for the price is great. I mean, you can buy a Genesis atomizer, you know, just the Genesis atomizer itself. You can buy them anywhere from 20, like the DID clone, all the way up to 179, I think the Fagati is, or 170. And then you could buy hybrids from $100, I think the NGP is, and you can buy them all the way up to 300 plus. So this being, I don't know how much vendors are going to be selling these for, but I bought this in a co-op, and the price that I paid for it was a steal. I really do like it. I really do. So the AGA-T, check them out, folks. I do have a giveaway. I have an AGA-T that I am giving away. So just like every other giveaway that I do, I'm going to put a 2-week limit on it. So 2 weeks from today's date, I will post it right here on the side when the contest will be ending. And you have to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel and comment on this video in the YouTube section, not in the forums, not on Facebook, but on the video comment section in YouTube. I do these giveaways because I like giving back to the community. I don't receive none of this stuff free. I don't get paid to do these videos. I don't get paid to do my show over on Elixir. I don't receive free devices. That's none of that, okay? So for people that think that I get paid and this is a promotional stint, I don't do none of that. I just like vapors in this community. I like giving information to the people that watch my videos. I answer anybody's question. If you get in contact with me, you can email me, you can PM me through YouTube, on my Facebook page. Get in contact with me if you have any questions. If I can help you, I will. If we can't do it through emails or PMs, I will Skype you. We will get it fixed if I can help you. I don't claim to know everything, but I am a tinkerer. I like ripping things apart. I like fixing things. So, you know, I'm a computer person by trade, but I like vaping and I like giving back to the community. I want to thank everybody for watching my videos. I want to thank everybody for coming to my show on Saturday nights from 8 to 10 on Elixir. It's called Gratefully Dedicated Vaping. I get a nice turnout every week. And if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's over on Elixir TV, Saturday nights from 8 to 10. But Elixir also has shows 7 days a week They do giveaways, play music, have a good time, chat. If you have any questions about vaping, come on in and ask. We've helped a lot of new vapors get started into vaping. A lot of people win juice. It's a really nice community over at Elixir TV. But that is the AGA-T. Check them out. I know there's a few vendors that have them. As soon as I find out the vendors, their links that have them, I will put them down in the description. Check them out and make sure you enter the contest. 2 weeks I will give you, and then after 2 weeks I will make a video and I will do the drawing. Soon as the contest ends, let's say it ends on a Friday, I probably won't get the video done until like Monday, but I will have the video done and I will let everybody know who won. So make sure you enter to win the AGA-T. Thank you everybody, and keep vaping.